Welcome to another episode of the Left Forward Podcast. We got Lambo and I'm Ray.
Good evening, y'all.
It's been a while. So
it has been a little while. You gonna join the live? A couple of announcements, y'all. This is not actually the first show of the year. We have a special episode. We're just having some technical difficulties getting that posted. I'll let you up in here. There he go. There's my partner in crime. I'm currently working on getting that special episode live. But if you follow on the page, subscribing, you'll see 37 will be up before 36. But you know how we started up, Ray? You got your cup ready? One sweep for us, one sweep for the homies.
Oh, okay. All right. So I was sitting back today thinking about, you know what can I say that's good topic for today? And I got a question for you. I actually wanted this to be the ladies' question, so maybe I need to change my topic because I want to hear the lady background to this topic. So I'm gonna kind of save this one for a little bit. So we move on to the next topic. So I was watching. What was this? When you make it, will you let your whole team come live with you? If you had a team? Or will you buy them a separate house and you live by yourself?
I think that depends a lot on timing. Like now, I would be like, at my age now, I'll be like, yeah, I want you to get your own spot. I get, settle in, figure that out. If I was in my 20s, and we still running the streets like we used to do, I wouldn't have no problem with just getting a big ass house and everybody could just crash in my house.
What you mean? What we used to do?
We used to run the streets.
No, I didn't run the street.
Whatever, right? You can sell that to anybody but me. But you know what I mean? But like, if we were still like out every weekend and we were to the point where like we had no job, we just had money to blow and time to blow. I probably in my 20s, yeah, I wouldn't have no problem with that. But now, you know what I'm saying? At my age now, y'all can't be in my house. I need my space.
So I would just listen to
Hey Nisha.
Wow. Okay. I was just listening to somebody talking about it, and they was like they got their team living with them. I mean, I guess if they started with you, you want them to have a good place to live. So I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, we're gonna have to make this a whole separate kind of ordeal.
But I think that's because you older than I am, so you thinking the way I am at our age.
Yeah,
but
true.
Like we was like 22, 23. I don't have no problem having a squad in the house. Everybody can have their own little room. We have a game room. You know what I'm saying? We go to the club, come home, bring whoever through the house. It don't even really matter. The same way, like I used to be cool having a roommate. Like at my age now, like I ain't having no roommates. Not if I can help it.
True. That is all facts. And it make a bit different too. Also, if you go or you with somebody.
Yeah.
Like if you want to if you like single, of course you could have your people, but you with somebody, it's just not gonna work.
Yeah. I think even at a younger age, that's a more acceptable thing to have a roommate. You know what I mean? I think a young girl and a young guy, well, she would probably be okay if he had a roommate,
Oh yeah,
especially if he had the nice whip and all that.
shit, that might be okay for now, cause they don't. You get a lot of shit with some cars.
You're right. I mean, honestly, we probably, even at our age, probably shouldn't shy away from rooming with people. Like we had this conversation before about someone talking about like a bunch of friends, they get a place together and live together and stack their money until they each got enough money to get their own house. Like legit, we could save a lot of money. Like if we was going to we rented like a 4-bedroom house, right? Say right, me, you, Lala, KB, 2,000 a month. We paying 500 a month each for rent, and just this, and it's like if by ourselves we pay like 1,500 each. We're each pocketing at least $1,000 a month just on rent. In a year, that's $12,000 a piece.
Or would that 12,000 turn into like 9,000 because we all taking vacations?
I mean, that's 12,000 just on rent. Like, granted, you're saving more than that because we're splitting utilities and everything too. And the only bills you're gonna have your own is like your personal bills, like your car note, your insurance. But cable, internet, electricity, gas, water, rent, all that's being split 4 ways. It's almost gonna be nothing. And then we have the luxury of having a house. Like we go get a house right now, 4-bedroom, and just split it.
Yeah, that's true.
And I recently became aware of houses that have a separate suite in them. So like there's the house and it's got its bathroom and entrance and everything like that. And then there's another suite that has its own bathroom and kitchen and stuff like that on the other side of the house, but it's all one house.
Yeah, and some of those people actually rent that part out.
Yeah,
to help pay for their rent. So that would take me into the next topic. So, do you think this is a year? Like, this will be a bigger year for people to have side hustles, or do you think it's gonna stay the same, or is it gonna decline?
I think there will be a shift in side hustles because I think that as just like anything, it'll get set. Whatever people are doing is going to get saturated. Like even if we're talking about Fashion Nova, what's another side hustle? Real estate stuff like anything's gonna get saturated over time. So I think there's always gonna be a shift.
If Fashion Nova a side hustle,
I think for IG models it is. They get some free clothes, they post it online. If you haven't, it's something you do if you have enough followers. But I mean, even that, I kind of think it's a side hustle and a shift. Like even social media influencers, like the way YouTube is monetizing things now, because they just posted today the YouTube is I don't know if it's YouTube. I think it's Instagram and Facebook are limiting your monetization if you cuss within like the first few minutes of your videos.
really?
I think it's like a 15-minute grace period. Like you cuss in like the first 15 minutes, they limit your monetization. But I think that's the thing that social media is influencing is going to change because there's going to be a saturation point. Like it's so easy for everybody to get up and make a show.
Yeah. I believe that some of these, I don't think, I know you said maybe oversaturated, but I think some of it is going to be that some of it that's going to be declined because they said it going to be like things supposed to be going down soon, like that's why the market's not doing so great. The housing market going to get a little better because like a lot of things going to drop soon. So I think that there's going to be a decline in sales that really going to change the way you got to do things. And we may need that so that some of these prices could go down because Atlanta is getting expensive.
Who you telling? I'm waiting. There houses that were 3 years ago were selling for 400,000 are now going for almost $1 million.
Oh yeah, that's easy. That's easy $1 million right now. Like it's just so crazy what this what everything going right now. So like I just hope people got the side hustle that you've been saving some too, so that if something does happen, you have something, a little backbone or a little egg, a nest egg as they call it, so that you could you know fall back on.
Can you
But
really consider hustling a long-term plan? I feel like hustling is something you do quick and simple just to get by from point to point. Like if you have a business, that's not a hustle. That's the business. But hustle is something you do to get you a little bit of money to float you.
Well, okay, so that also depends also because like it is a business, but at the same time you selling something like you have an e-commerce or a whatever business. I mean, e-commerce technically that's your business, but that is considered a side hustle. If that could be considered a side hustle.
I mean, at what point does it stop being a side hustle though? Does it need to be your primary source of income?
Well, with a source of income increase, like where that's more than your regular income you receiving.
I think it's a lot of people hustling, and hustling is not a long-term plan.
No, hustling is not it is actually there to get you by, help you save up for something that you want to do, and you move on to the next thing. But some people got side hustle for years.
I mean, if you side hustling for years and you're not a millionaire, I kind of feel like you need to change your side hustle.
You think
I'm
so?
sorry. Because if you're not like gradually, like even if I still sit at a job from year to year, I'm gonna get a yearly pay raise.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if your side hustle is, I mean, it's good that it's something that's consistent, but if it's not improving over time, you might need to look at making changes or doing something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you should expand it so it becomes a business.
True. But not all side hustle could be a business though.
Yeah, I know.
So some though maybe it's just something to get you by until you get back on your feet, and maybe it might take 5 years before you could get back.
True, but every drug dealer ain't trying to stay on the corner. They trying to be a kingpin.
Yeah, but even being a kingpin, you still could have a side hustle.
True.
Because some people, it's not even about the hustle. It's it's not about the money, it's about the hustle. They enjoy being the hustler. So there's also something else that is out there. So I mean, I guess it all depends. So I mean, I guess you never know. It just you just gotta take that kind of chance. But it's a new year, and when you have bigger things coming, maybe you might need a little side hustle. Make sure that bigger thing is coming.
That's Shantae. what would you say is like the best side hustle right now?
Right now?
Yeah.
See, the problem is it's a lot of them, but that's all depends on what you want to do.
No, for you then.
For like, okay, let's just say, for example, like the e-commerce thing that you could do. That could be a side hustle, but the lucrative thing to it is not that great. I think drop shipping. That's another side hustle you could do, but I don't think in the long run it will be very helpful for you. Then they have the pallet. I don't know what you actually call this, but it's like where you buy pallets of.
I know you're talking about. I mean that's kind of part of drop shipping, but I know you're talking about you buy a pallet of stuff and you resell it.
Right. I mean, that could help you, but that also depends on if you have the sellers. I mean, the buyers to buy your product, or are you getting overlooked? So, or let's just say people who sell, or we could say people like, you know, selling food on the side. They have their main job, then they're selling plates on the side. Like it kind of gotta depends on what your buyers got and what you could do off of it that really, really have the little side hustle. But investment is also some people's side hustle. It's not their main source of income.
Granted,
But even investment, depending on what you invest in. Like for example, I'm looking to invest into some apartments. Okay, so if I decide to end up doing that, I gotta realize that I may not see no real money for a couple of years.
that's a hard part about investment.
Yeah, so it's also depends on how far you want to get. Cause like I invested into a few companies already, but you know, I just gotta wait till I get myself to a point where they're making money and I could see something off of it. So it kind of like you gotta get yourself to being like, am I okay to if I so happen to lose this money or gain this money? Like, do I have time to be able to afford to let this money go by? Kind of thing. So I mean, it all depending on what you want to do or whatever. But I mean, side hustle could be different though. Watching kids, I'm definitely not doing that one. That one's out of the question.
I think you'd be good at it.
Yeah, I probably would be, but I'm not doing it. You could side hustle, washing cars. Like it's a lot of side hustle, but it's like you gotta find your clientele and be able to keep up to let that be longevity. Like, uh, shout out to Wall Street Trapper. So like, or you could do something like him. He do a lot of investments and they did a good job. And I mean, it does good for him, but he also got a different process. So I mean, it kind of depends on what you try to do and what kind of thing. For example, like having having whole life insurance, like that could be a hustle. Cause you invest in that, you could also take some of that and invest into business. Like you could do a lot with that. So I mean, it all depends on what kind of hustle you want to do. I mean, it's a lot of them. It's not like I'm gonna say everyone gonna be easy to start, because I know for sure it won't be easy to start, or it may be easy to start, but to make money off of it, maybe the kind of like kind of challenges you may have. But I mean, got a little passion for it, go for it. I don't see why not.
And to anybody investing, you got to treat investing like gamble. Like, don't spend more than you can afford to lose.
Yeah. Yeah. Come take as a person right now that got a little coins into some investments. Hey, I'll be honest. Like, let me see. I don't have a lot of places, a lot of companies that I invest in. And this not even talking about stock market. This is like companies itself. Like, you know, how many do I have? I think 5. So I do have the 5 companies that I invest in, but like if one do a hit, I'm winning. I make a pretty good profit. If one hit, hit pretty good, I can make a pretty decent profit. But as I invested into it, I also I don't know if it happened for everybody, but for me per se, I only invest into things that I know I will use. And that how I pick when I invest into the stock market. I pick things that I will use. So it may not do good, but I use it. So that's how I kind of, pick on things that I invest in or I put, my money back into it.
You should we'll probably talk about it after show, but we should definitely chronicle that type of stuff. So I want to do that anyway. Just kind of get it, invest in something, kind of chronicle the progress from like start to finish, whether it succeeds or fails. Just as a learning experience to share with people. Like I was trying to do the like I tried to do the Forex thing, which didn't work out. I did do I forgot what it's called. But I did some kind of investment thing, and it did yield like a small percentage increase. But that site went down before I had any significant return, so I couldn't really share that with nobody. But definitely something want to do it and kind of chronicle the progress of it. Because like anything, I feel like I'm willing to try shit. Because I have my different moments where them cash scams. Like I sometimes I'll be having my moment where I'll be thinking real hard, like, do I want to send this motherfucker $100 just to see if I'm gonna get 1,000 back? I have my moments when I be thinking hard about it because I see people posting about this shit. It's like maybe I try that one time, see if I get a little something back, and if it worked for me, I put everybody onto it.
I mean, like for me, I won't lie. Like I had some business that I had some things that failed that I have invested in. Oh, but it ain't stopped me for continue to invest. It just I choose a little wiser of how I pick things. I mean, I made a couple of dollars, but nothing to talk about on some of the kind of profit or whatever I invest in. But it's like you gotta be willing to take that risk because it's a big gamble.
I feel you. If you didn't make you $1 million, it's not really topic worthy. But you got to try shit.
You know what?
At the end
You're
of the
right.
day, at the end of the day, you just got to try shit. It's all a risk. Everything's a risk. I agree. It's on me.
Yes.
Okay. So shout out to Jay. You know who you are for bringing this to my attention. So did you see what the new rule for Instagram and I think Instagram and Facebook, where now they changed their rule on bare breast if you're transgender or non-binary?
No.
So apparently now if you're transgender or non-binary, you can show your breasts on social media.
If you non-binary?
Yeah. So if you don't identify as a man or a woman or you're transgender, you can show your breasts on social media, which is fucking stupid.
Huh.
So is a titty not a titty on a transgender woman? Or is a titty not a titty on a person that identifies as non-binary? I'm confused at where the line is.
Okay, so the transgender, that may be a little, I mean, technically they don't have nothing, they don't get position. So it may be like a breast like mine's or yours if it's like transgender.
I mean, that's not
But like,
necessarily true. Like, it's some good ass doctors out here. So if you have a man and he had the work go done and he looked like Bernice Burgos, he could be butt ass naked on social media because he used to be a man.
apparently,
that's fucking stupid.
That is very stupid. And you know, I just don't think that. I think that I'm trying to say that carefully so we don't get canceled. I just don't believe that they should be making special rules or regulation for any set of people.
What up, Jay? It's getting out of control. Did passed a rule where you can't refer to anybody as sir or ma'am?
The who?
The Marines.
Wow.
So like, and I posted it. So a guy went down a list of all the things that they'll call you in the Marines. Like, they'll call you pussy, motherfucker, asshead, all these names they can call you, but they can't call you sir or ma'am. This shit is getting ridiculous. And then you have the folks that are identifying as disabled, calling themselves transabled. Did you hear about that? Yeah, so there are folks that are deliberately hurting themselves, blinding themselves, handicapping themselves because they identify as a handicapped person. You're like, you're not going to tell me this whole identity thing is not a psychological problem.
I mean, that's just wild, but I think a lot of people would take advantage of a lot of things too. Like, I know mental illness is a big thing. I'm not going to say it's not, because I know it's a big thing. But a lot of people would take advantage of that by doing things and consider themselves they have a mental illness.
It is a mental illness. And one day I think somebody's going to figure that out. Demi Lovato, I'll say it again. She's a prime example of it. She changes her pronoun with her mood. I can understand if you identify something, but you can't identify with something based on how you feel. That negates it. If you feel like a woman, you need to always feel like a woman. If you feel like a man, you need to always feel like a man. You don't feel like a woman when you wake up and feel like a man when you go to sleep. Something is wrong with you. You need help.
Yeah, like it. I don't know. Like, it's just so wild to me that you could do that. But I mean, I guess it's nothing you could really say because, like, no one proving them wrong, or they just trying to be taught, like, walk a real thin line towards it.
I mean, it's going to have to get to the extreme point. Like, let me walk into the DMV and tell them I identify as handicapped, so I need a parking pass.
And they probably would.
Let me do 100 miles on the highway and the cop pull me over and tell him I identify with 100-mile-an-hour speed limit.
Okay, well, now you might.
But I'm saying it's all that fucking stupid. Like, where's the line with it?
I don't know. I mean, it's just very wild that.
Thanks, Shantae.
Yeah, thanks, Shantae. I just think it's very wild and crazy that like it's so much that when people decide to use things toward their advantage that they be able to use. But like some of it, I mean, come on. Let's just go ahead and be real. Like, some of it's just ludicrous. Like, come on. And like, and maybe I don't have a very understanding of it, but like non-binary, is what? Like you don't consider yourself a man or a woman?
Yeah, which is stupid. Gender is a
So
fact.
so I'm just confused how you say you non-binary, but so what do you do when you go to the restroom? You only go to the restroom where it's like join?
Exactly.
Because you
Gender is a
can't go
fact.
in because you go in man, so you consider yourself a man. You go in a woman, you consider yourself a woman. Like, so so should we make a bathroom and say non-binary?
Hell, even Caitlyn Jenner made a comment saying that people that identify as non-binary, and even a lot of people that are claim to be transgender, identify as an opposite sex or have a psychological problem. And this is a transgender woman saying that.
I mean, I just think it's so wild that you say that you're not anything like it just wild to me. I don't personally understand it, but I mean maybe I just need I need some more training, as they say, because
Like,
I
like,
am totally confused.
like I said, we need to just take it to the extreme level. I
Which is one?
as a Lamborghini. Just make it random shit. I identify as a Lamborghini. I identify as Batman. I identify as the Green Ranger.
Oh, but the White Ranger was,
No,
when he
the fuck
turned
he
into
wasn't.
the White Ranger was. I mean, I like the green the best, but when he turned
The
into when
green,
Tommy turned into the white, like that was a whole different. That was cool too.
the White Ranger is the second best. The Green Ranger is always going to be the GOAT.
Okay, I could agree with that, but I'm just saying, I just want to mention that on the side
RP
note,
JDF.
right? It just, I don't know. I just think that we're gonna have to kind of like which I don't think it's gonna be able to be fixed now.
It'll get better. It'll get worse before it gets better. I feel like with a lot of things, that's going to be what happens. It's
Shit, it's
going to
gonna
have to
get worse than
hit a
this.
tipping point. Yeah, it'll get worse. Think about it. Think of the world we're walking into, right? We're starting to get to the point where we have artificial intelligence and robots that can have conversations. So we're already talking about non-binary. What happens when we have artificial intelligence and that enters that conversation that are not born male or female? Like some of the movies are kind of giving us hints of where the world is going.
Yeah, but maybe that'd be like after my time because
I mean, the robots are today.
true. But like really being like that, like really showing it like some of these movies be showing it, that's like hopefully like down the line. Like,
I think you'll be a crotchety old man when it happens, but I think it'll still happen while you're alive.
I'm a
But maybe
what old man?
I said you will be a crotchety old man when it happens.
Oh wow.
No
Wow.
offense.
I mean that was offensive.
I mean, I basically said
Maybe.
you're gonna live a long life, but you all right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it'd be 100 years from now. Because 100 years
It's
from now, I'd be
I give it 50.
50.
50
Whew,
years.
50, I'd be about 87. I'll be still living my best life.
That's what I'm talking about. It'll be in your lifetime. That's
Yeah.
gonna be the kids' problem in the future. I'm gonna change gears again. Uh, I've been seeing more, well, not as much in the last week or so, but I've been starting to see more and more parents like shaming their kids on the internet for doing bad stuff.
Have you?
And I kind of feel like it's kind of like a new style of parenting. Like, how you feel about that? To an extent, being the kids are actively trying to be popular on social media, I think it's a viable punishments option.
So I also agree with that somewhat because I go to a point where them shaming them on the internet give them proof because these kids love to, some of these kids, not all, but some of the kids like to lie. And this way they can't no kind of help because everything's online and they see what's going on. But at the same time, some of the kids just need to get their tail whooped.
Facts. But the way the world is now, you liable to go to jail for child abuse. You whoop your child.
Yeah, that's the bad part. Like, look, I'm not the one that I'm not the one that like like some other. I started getting whooped at a young age. So, I got kind of blessed that way. But before then, you know, I know how that feel. But this I hear, like, a lot of these people got whooping, like they turned out pretty great.
Facts.
They don't have it where they have all these mental issues and stuff crazy mess like this. Like in these past like 10 years, I never seen so many people that said they have mental issues.
50 Cent made a comment. I don't know if a few weeks ago. I just saw it like a few weeks ago.
Oh,
saying
I seen it. He said how
yes,
that's like a luxury.
Yeah. See, so he was basically saying that people are depressed nowadays because they have time to be depressed. And I kind of feel like he has a really good point. Like prior to this pandemic, when everybody was working normal and everything like that, things weren't as bad. But now people are out of work now. Everybody has a bunch of free time. People sitting at home collecting unemployment checks. Everybody's depressed and upset. I kind of feel like he's right. People have time to be depressed right now. So that's why they're depressed.
I won't only say that it's the people who get unemployment. I also think that a lot of the people who, as they call it, is entrepreneurs. Like
that's part of it.
Yeah, so like a lot of them also because they only got to work a few hours a day, so they just do their thing. Then if they don't continue to work like it was working, they get depressed.
That's one side, but I also think the folks that are, because we all need some level of structure. Even as adults, we need some level of structure. So I think even the people that were working all of a sudden, or even though they're choosing not to work, sitting around all day and having nothing to do with yourself and having no direction and not knowing what to do with yourself, I think that can cause somebody to be depressed too. Even though you're willingly causing it to happen, you can cause yourself to be depressed, whether you realize it or not. It's like there are people that legit all they were doing is collecting unemployment check and smoking weed all day. Like that's a depressing thought when I do that for a year. That's okay to do when I'm tired of working, I'm taking a vacation. But if I'm going a whole year doing nothing, I'm out of my mind. I can't stop working now. I can't imagine that situation.
So that's why I never understood too. Like, let me see, how many months did I not work?
I thought it was like 8 months.
Huh?
Wasn't it like 8 months?
No, it wasn't 8 months. It was 6 months. It was like August to February. Like after month one, like I literally like after the first month, like I literally got into college and took classes again just to give myself something to do. So what did I get? I got in school, I got a motorcycle, I got a PS5. Like I literally bought stuff to give myself something to do. So I don't understand how you could sit down and literally sit and put your feet up, especially as a younger person. Like if you're not at like a retirement age of like 65, like I know some people you 65, you might or 60, you might be retired. But like, especially you on the 50 and you just putting your feet up and relaxing, like I don't understand how you do it. Me personally, I don't understand.
Yes, I mean there are people that I've learned are happier with less, and then I think there are also people that don't realize what they're missing out on until it hits you. You know what I mean? Like you sitting at home and chilling, and it's cool. You got a little money in your pocket, till you start to realize and see all the things that you're not able to do because you're sitting at home chilling. So you kind of gotta hit a breaking point. You gotta hit what Lil Duval. I think Lil Duval said you gotta hit your broke phase. No, Cat Williams said you gotta hit your broke phase, and some people ain't hit it. And so you hit your broke phase, you kind of it's easy to fall back and be content with a little bit. And then when you've been through your broke phase, you realize all the shit that's out there for you to do. Like you're like for you, I'm sure it's a different process. Like you've been out the country, you've been traveling and things like that. You're aware of the world outside of 285.
Oh
But
yeah,
if you talking about somebody that's 22 that ain't never left Fulton County, they don't know all that, so it's really easy to sit back and chill.
But think about it. You got people in their 30s that's putting up that just rather sit at home and accept unemployment check, though.
You're right.
And do nothing.
But you have to understand, and I think this has really been lost because of social media. The ability to see the world is a luxury that we highly underestimate. Like our parents, our parents' parents, our parents' parents, they weren't traveling the way we were traveling.
Facts.
So the fact, like whether we realize or not, we were extremely blessed to be able to say you and I have both been to several countries. We like there are a lot of people that, whether we realize or not, have not left the state of Georgia. All they know is what they see on social media and what they see riding around 285.
Right. And you know what? That to me, that is so wow. And like the crazy part is like I really don't believe that some of them know that the price that they paying to go out the country is not as expensive as they believe to if they plan it well. Like if
Go
you
ahead.
plan, for example, you plan your trip 6 to 7 months out, you probably could pay the same much that you paying if you go to Vegas or Florida or California.
But you know, it's not always about the money.
They
It's
just
like
don't know.
they just don't know, and so they don't see a purpose in it. Like if your whole life, everybody you know drive a Honda, you never seen a Mercedes, you never seen a Benz. Honda is where it's at for you. There's no reason to have anything other than a Honda, no expectation to have anything other than a Honda because all you know is a Honda. And then one day somebody drive by you in a Benz and it does all these things that your Honda don't do, then your world's open. So those are those people we're talking about. They spent their whole life riding around in a Honda. They spent their whole life only seeing Hondas.
Yeah, that's wild because like I don't know, because I was just sitting back thinking about, I was like already tired playing this year of places that I want to go out of the country. And I'm gonna keep it on the rep, but I got a few of them that I'm trying to do this year. But it
I
just
got to ask you about that other trip. We're gonna talk about that later.
oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes, I know. I looked into that a little more too. But it's like I don't know. It's like I just wish that our mind were more expanded, where we knew about this and really wanted to do it because the culture that you could see outside and see other people culture is really, really great to see. Like it's amazing. Just like saying that we have it bad here, like people have it worse than us and a lot more happier than us. They
It's
live
good
on
to,
less.
yeah, and it's mind expanding to see that the way we are in the States is not the only way things are.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But I guess I just hope that it won't be too late before people do realize that and be able to get out the country and see other things. So I got something quick to talk about. So I was just thinking, like, do you overall believe that I know what answer you're gonna have to pick because somebody's on live, so I know kind of answer you're gonna turn to. But
I'm gonna always be honest.
okay, so do you really believe that being in a relationship is like it's more good than bad?
That's a relative question. It really depends on who you're in a relationship with.
Mm,
I done been in a relationship with the devil, and I done been in a relationship with an angel.
okay, so let's just say your angel,
Uh,
it outweighs the bad.
there has been no bad.
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, there has been no bad. You like your relationship is really you really have to just pick who you be in a relationship with very, very,
Right,
very carefully. Just like you be careful about who you marry because marriage is a business. You be
right.
careful who you go into business with. You careful who you marry. You got to figure out what it is you want for you. I won't say make a list because it's like finding a house. Like you have things you want, but you can't restrict yourself to finding everything on your list. So it's like when you go to find a house, you're unlikely to find a house that has everything you want.
Yeah.
You find something that has the things you find really important, and you work with the rest.
Mm. So, talking about that, do you believe that it's very possible for how people always say, just remember when you get a relationship, it's gonna be some rocky times. Do you believe that that is such a thing, or it depends on what y'all have? Because, for example, Alicia Keys at Switch Beats was like, because they were talking to somebody and they was like they never had a kind of like blowout or argument.
I can believe that. I don't think any two people from different places are ever always going to go without disagreeing on something. That's the nature of people. Two people from two different places always are going to always have a high chance of disagreeing on something. The success or failure of relationships is based on how you deal with that. There's a
So,
difference. Like I've dealt with the devil, and we get into it about something, and it's a knockdown, drag out fist fight. It's a whole different front, and that's and then somebody who's not toxic. It's just a discussion. Well, you think this way, I think this way. We meet in the middle. We compromise. That's a healthy way to deal with it. So I can absolutely believe
okay,
they never had an argument. I'm sure they've
right, right,
disagreed on something, but they've never had an argument.
okay. Because that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, I do believe that also. Because somebody I told that to, they told me that they believe it. But I do believe that you could have disagreement without having arguments.
Yeah,
Because like when you get to a point where y'all have that good understanding, y'all could disagree, talk about it, and it's there.
yeah.
And it's no way where people need to yell and curse and all stuff like that.
That's why, like, and even she'll tell you is like when she asked me what I was looking for, and anybody's asked me what I'm looking for, tact is always on that list. It's how you use your words is very important to me because I'm okay with you getting mad at me. I can accept that. It's how you talk to me when you get mad at me, because I'm not gonna call you out your name. If I'm calling you this, be that, mofo, this, up and down, and there's something wrong on my end. But likewise, if you calling me be nigga this and be nigga that, it's a problem with that. Because them is fighting words, and I wouldn't let nobody in the street talk to me like that. Like, even if you my woman, you shouldn't be talking to me like that. Not unless you want me to put you in the streets.
Wow. When it comes to words, especially anger, that's usually how you really feel.
Yeah.
People say. So, like me, I don't think number one, I have never called a girl to her face a B word anyways. Like, I just don't even call that to women anyways. Personally, I don't even really use the word anyway. Plus, this year, I'm not going to be using it anyways, period. I know a couple of them that they need to be called that, but I ain't going to do that.
You and me both.
But, like, I dealt with some toxic people, and the things that they say, it'd be so wow. Like, I hear some wild things. Like, some words I have never heard before. And I heard the girl say she called this guy that before, but I never heard certain things that a woman said, no matter how mad they got. But I heard some things that really was like below the belt. And I'm like, there's no way you could come back from that.
Exactly.
Like, even if you wanted to, like, you can't. Like, that's the end of it. And I do think that some people that I think they really should go see some help. Cause I know my boy said that he loved that toxic ish. But like, I don't understand, bro. I don't understand why you love toxic relationship. Like, you love the toxic stuff. Like, I don't get it.
I think there's a situation where that works, and that's because you don't really want nothing serious, and it's an easy way for you to get out of it.
You think that?
I think so. If all I wanted was a smash, right? You can be as toxic as you want to be, because I'm gonna put up with it when I want to put up with it to get what I want, and when I don't, that's an easy reason for me to say I don't want to deal with it.
Fact.
Nietzsche said people that say they have past trauma, that's what they're used to. Very, very true.
Say it again.
Nietzsche said people that say they have past trauma, that's what they're used to. Very, very true. But that's she knows this. I asked her about this too. Like, were you over your last situation? Because you shouldn't take your past trauma into your next situation. I'm avid about that. That's why I took my time to kind of chill out and get over all the shit I was dealing with.
Were you over it?
I mean, I'm still angry that happened, but I'm to a point where I'm not taking that into my next situation.
Okay, that's fantastic. So let's talk about that. Why? Shout out to Nisha for bringing that up. So, do you think that if you still have that, how do you think is the best way to get yourself out of that?
For me, it was understanding what the situation was and where I made mistakes. And I'm being honest about it, because some of that I enabled. 1,000% admit some of that I enabled, some of that I overlooked.
Facts.
And that's why anybody says, well, there were no red flags. Yes, the fuck there were. Because I can admit I ignored red flags. I understand why I ignored the red flags is more important. Okay. So I'm not in a place where I'm going to do that ever again. I'm sorry, but you have to kind of sit and analyze the situation, analyze yourself, understand why things happen the way they did. And once you understand the why, well, you can kind of navigate through your next situation to avoid those same mistakes. If you don't understand why, you're definitely gonna repeat shit again.
Mm. That's a good question. Do I understand why? I do. I get why.
Which situation are you talking about?
Shit. Any of them. Any of them. Any of them. I understand why. Like,
But I said, if you took your time to self analyze and understand the why, then you're good to go.
yeah. I did. I did. I mean, I'm being honest. Like, I do think it took time for me to really process it and really understand it. But I got it now. We good money now. But I mean, I just think that outside looking in, like, I play around a lot about, take it something or take it like still feeling some of the trauma or whatever.
I know.
And even though I do believe that a lot of y'all shit ain't no good, I still believe that. And I don't believe that y'all can't be no good. I think that a lot of y'all choose not to be any good. So I'm gonna place my words correctly. Some of y'all, I just don't think y'all give a F. So y'all just doing it because and also because y'all know men let allow y'all to be like that. So y'all continue and think every man the same. But we're not gonna get on that whole subject. But I did learn, and that's a new year, and the process is a lot different. So I do think that with some time and reflection, you could get guys, women, y'all could get out of that trauma, and maybe y'all need to go talk to somebody. And if y'all want me, hit me up on IG. I got a couch that y'all could tell me y'all problems, and I would listen
What's up, Johnny?
for a fee.
My fee is cheaper than his. Just let y'all know. You can hit me up on IG too. Uh, I do got one last question for you. I know you trying to stick to this whole hour thing. I We'll talk about that later, Johnny. And this came up in one of the singles groups the other day, and I kind of lightly got into an argument with another dude about it. So,
Okay.
you as a man, do you feel like it's more important do you feel like you need to be needed or you need to be wanted?
Me, I think it's more as me being wanted. Personally, I think I'd rather be wanted than needed.
Um, Go ahead.
Okay, so when I think about needing, I'm thinking about that person can't survive without me, which means that they may just be with me because I could take care of them or I'm there for them. So they really don't really even care about me.
Facts. That's
And
exactly what I said.
and that's a same statement that remind me of a program I would listen to where this person literally said that if she won that 1 point whatever $1 billion, she would leave her man. And she told him that. Like he asked, what will you do with it? And she said, leave him. Would that mean that man she was only with him because she needed him, not because she wanted him? And why would you want to be with somebody who don't want you? That what I think.
I think you're absolutely right. That was the point I made. when we got into discussion about it. I feel like you can hate somebody's guts, but you should still need them, and that's why I don't want to be needed. Because at the point we don't need me anymore, what happens?
They drop you.
Exactly. So I very much I think the most toxic person I've ever met, that was the sentiment they had, and I kind of feel like that's part of why they annoyed me so much. It's one thing to be, oh damn, I ended because we'll still finish the show. There's one I kind of feel like that's some toxic shit that women came up with so they can act a fool and think men will put up with it, or that's some shit like if I want to control you, then I want you to need me, right? That's some toxic shit,
right?
Because that means I'll beat your ass, but if you ain't got nowhere to stay, you need me, you'll put up with me beating your ass. But absolutely, I think any good man wants to be wanted.
That's a fact. But I mean, a lot of men take a lot of stuff too.
We do. I mean, but it's in our nature to endure. That's how we're built. We're meant to keep fighting.
Right.
And that's why I think this whole men versus women thing is interesting, because I see women talking about people talking about it's a war between men and women, but I think it's funny that women have been saying the same thing they've been saying for years. It only became a war when men started speaking up.
Really?
And I hate that concept, because men are only saying what they've been feeling for years. That's why Kevin Samuels, that's why he really was important, because he was kind of the spark that started that up. Like Andrew Tate and Pearl. I don't know if you know who those are. The white chick with the red hair that's all over the internet. You probably know who Andrew Tate is, but both of them are only known because of Kevin Samuels, because they're basically saying the same shit he said.
Andrew Tate and what's the girl name?
Pearl. I think her show is called Pearly Things.
I think I heard her because she always be like how men don't get what they want. Yeah, I know both of them. So Andrew Tate, I do think is a little extreme to some of his statement. I think he's a little extreme with some of his statements.
He's extreme, but he's not wrong.
Yeah, somewhat, but I do think he's extreme. So he probably one that I won't so happy to listen to. But I do know the other girl because they have a lot of clips about her, especially lately. But it's like it's kind of at this point, like, what can you do?
And I think there's a lot and I predicted this. I think it started to become a popular thing for women to speak up against women. I'm starting to see it more and more, and even black women are starting to do it. I think it's a bad thing to do now that Kevin Samuels is gone. But he was definitely the spark that lit the match.
Yeah. Shout out to the Godfather.
Rest in peace. I'm still seeing people celebrating him being gone.
What?
Like, and I'm seeing even men celebrate he's gone. I'm kind of like, dude. Umar Johnson said something about him the other day, and I kind of like, dude, the man is gone. Let him rest. Like whether you agree with him what he said or not, bro, the man is gone, and like that really shows me what kind of evil there is in the world, because there are legit people. Adolf Hitler don't get the hate that Kevin Samuels got.
No,
that's blowing me. All because he said something you don't like. Like Jeffrey Dahmer don't get the hate that Kevin Samuels got, all because he said some shit that people don't like.
That I don't know. That's like the wildest thing to me, that people will celebrate someone's death like it's over with, like it's done. At that point, that person doesn't matter. But even let's just say certain people are still alive at everything. Like, just don't listen to them. That's all you gotta do. You don't have to listen, but you love to tune in, then talk about it. Just leave it alone. It is what it is. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Like I, I just don't understand. I just don't understand. Like we're gonna have to do better. Cause like this can't continue.
But like and you saw what I posted. That's why I've got to the point where I'm not arguing with nobody no more. But it's still irking the fucking man. People are still looking for reasons to tear this man down when he can't even defend himself no more.
Right. Fact.
But on that note, I know you got to go.
Okay, so I got another quick thing to say.
All right.
So I don't know how to take this or like how people would take this. So I was reading something and I can't remember. I think maybe you sent it to me. And it was like saying that like how women. Oh no. I was watching something where this lady was saying a good guy is just not enough nowadays.
I think it was the two women talking.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw it.
And with that kind of mindset, that's why it's gonna be a lot of women in their 40s single. They realize what happened to them and trying to go back and finding somebody in their 40s. And it probably gonna be too late for them, for majority of them, not all of them, but for majority of them, it's gonna be too late for them.
I mean, the other chick said it. That's why women are getting older and being single. Um, because the good guy's not enough, and they complain, and they'll deal with the bad guy, and then can keep complaining about it.
That's when, like, I won't say the person name, but like certain people that I see that it get done bad, I don't feel bad for them, especially when I know that they have a good guy and they let that good guy go for the person that doing them bad. I don't be feeling bad for them. Cause majority of, not all women, but majority of women had a good man, a good guy that was gonna make sure that they taken care of and really did good for them. But they chose to not do that because that good guy isn't good enough for them. And this is the same reason why men get a lot more relationship because and they call it not dating up to their standard or whatever they call that word. They'll, as you call it, date down, I guess you'll say. To find, and when in reality, they're not dating down. They just finding somebody else that may not have all the qualities or certain things that they do want, but they have some other things. And a lot of women think that they need to find a man that have all of it instead of most of it and just dealing with it. And I'm not sure they ever gonna understand or get it.
It's like everything else. I think it'll get worse before it gets better. I think we're going to have to get that generation of women that are 50 some and alone for the young girls to see that and get to the point where I don't want to turn out like that. Let me do something different. Maybe what everybody been saying is true. So
Yeah,
we probably a good 30 or 40 years from it, but I think it'll get better after we get to that breaking point.
because like some of the things I hear from women, I'll be like, "Hey, this is why you gonna stay single." Like I literally tell them that. Because I don't want to lie to them and tell them in hope. Because it probably not, but I mean, or it may be, but it's just gonna be later.
And it's young girls now that they're gonna get caught up in that. Because now I kind of feel like the problem is, now the problem is you have the older women that are kind of have the set in their ways and as one kind of problem, and then you have the young women that are set in these modern ways, what are a
Right.
whole different kind of problems. So you kind of, as men, we're kind of in the middle trying to, you have to kind of pick your battle,
Exactly.
and
True.
whichever one can work for you. So it's going to take all of this group to get to the point where they realize, oh damn, I kind of fucked up with all these men, and I don't have the options I think I have, and I'm not the hot shit I think I am. And then for the next group or the next group of young women to come in and look at that older group and be like, oh, I don't want to end up like that.
Yep.
It's us as men are a part of that too. Like we're gonna have to do something different. Like I said it to myself. The dating pool was trash because I wasn't in it.
I'm sorry.
I jokingly used to say the dating pool was trash because I wasn't in it.
Oh,
Um, because there's a lot of dudes wouldn't do the type of shit I would do.
look, I'm
Um,
gonna call you your nickname. I ain't gonna do it.
uh, but I digress. But us as men, we have to improve. We have to improve too. There's a problem on our side, so ladies, don't ever think that I'm biased or anything like that. I understand there's a problem with the guys too.
Yeah, a lot of it that because the girl looked a certain way, they let a lot of stuff get over. Like they take a lot of stuff, which is very wild because like, come on. No matter what you do or what you look like you should not be letting people just run over you and do your thing that some of these women doing. But I mean, in
It's
hindsight, like as a woman, why not do it if the man gonna let you?
I mean that's true, and so I feel like it takes both, right? There
Right.
there are things guys are only doing because women let them. And there are things women are only doing because guys put up with it. So on both sides we need to fix the problem. Um, I think the large I think a large part of it is I honestly and I think men understand the problem that we have with men and understand that what we need to fix. I'm still going to go on the ledge and say women still lack the accountability to admit in majority that y'all have problems that y'all need to fix. Like did you just see the dude? It just came out the other day about the dude. He has like 30 children, and
30 children?
he has 30 children with 11 women, and he doesn't make enough to give them any significant child support. They give each of them like $1 and some change.
$1 and some change?
Yeah, because he doesn't make any real money. He makes minimum wage.
Oh wow.
So it's like we can sit up and and I look in the comments and see women talking about the man, but you forget there were 10 women that laid down with this man knowing he had kids. There were 10 women that laid down with that man without knowing what he had to provide them. So like I can let the first one slide. Might let the second one slide, but everything after that, you didn't make no kind of guarantees with this man or find out anything about him before you laid down and let him knock you up. And he might have gave you some good ass dick, but he wasn't worth the shit. And I'm sorry to say that, but that's the facts.
Cause
You
now
don't
you
really have
pay for it.
right. You paying for it, and more importantly, the children are paying for it.
Exactly. Like I a lot of the women or parents, and I'm gonna say more of the women. A lot of the women is real selfish when it comes to the kids. Anyways, they think about them and their lifestyle. They do not consider the kids. Because if you consider the kids, you would not be having the kids with parents or guys that won't take care or won't be there for their kid. But some of you think about, you know what? If I have a kid by him, I don't have to work again. Not that he's not going to be around or be there when your child need him, but yet you don't have to work. So I mean, it just a wild how things is. But hey, might get fixed one day. So, through this last time, you know, I've been trying to think about what was sent for me to say today. And one thing that really been coming to me lately is that I don't think enough of us is thankful for what we have. We are always thinking about what we don't have.
Agreed.
So as us, we need to be thankful for what we have, because some people don't have what you have, so that you should be really grateful and thankful for that. And who knows, grace could be put on you and you could receive more. As other people like to say, you know, nothing wrong with giving thanks, no matter who you believe in, giving thanks of what you got. So thank y'all so much. We got Lambo on way, and I'm Ray. We'll see y'all next week.
Night, y'all.